So what we're going to look at today, and what we're going to be looking at for the next few weeks, are solving trig equations, which we've already done to some extent, actually. But before we can really get into solving them, we need to kind of understand what we're talking about, which is why I have three equations, so you should write those three equations down and make some comments about what we find. So let's go ahead and look at what this first equation looks like. It's 2 sine of x minus 1. And my question to you first is, how many solutions does this equation have? Now immediately your mind should be thinking about how many solutions does this function have over its entire interval? How much does it have in just the piece that you're looking at? Or if I were to give you a specific interval, how many solutions would be there? So let's talk about that first one first. How many solutions does this thing have? Well, when we zoom out and back in and out and stuff, and we see that it has how many? Yeah, it has infinitely many. And let's look at the rest of these too, just for funsies. So there's this guy, there's solutions here, here, here. There's this guy. There's a lot going on, but for all of these, how many solutions do we see? Yes, yeah, we see infinitely many. Okay, so it's kind of busy screen. Let's look at just this last one. I'm going to ask you another question now. How many solutions does this function have, h of x? How many does it have on the interval from a negative 2 pi to 2 pi? All right, go and count them up. All right, how many did you get? Okay, so I got 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 solutions on just that smaller interval from a negative 2 pi all the way to 2 pi. So that brings us up the next point, all right? We're going to be solving these equations by hand using the unit circle, obviously. And sometimes it'll say, how many solutions do you have on a specific interval? And you won't have this graph to look at. And at other times it'll say, how many solutions does it have across the entire set of real numbers, or from a negative infinity to infinity. And it's not just that you're telling me how many solutions it has, you have to tell me exactly which solutions they are. So, for example, you would be able to tell me that this is pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 13 pi over 6, 17 pi over 6. Right? That's where we're heading. We've got to name these solutions and then talk about some way to represent every single solution. So we've done this before, and I'll just basically refresh your memory by saying we talked about something using k, right? We said plus 2 pi k. I want you to start to try to remember what we were talking about when we did that. So any comments you can write down, any reflections you have, and any questions you have, write those down in the notes next to here. The next video will involve beginning to solve these equations, but this is just a framework so you understand what it means. In fact,